Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Intrusive Thoughts by Adam Rippon. I am, of course, and yet again, Adam Rippon. Before we get started, I want, for those of you who watch the podcast, I'm in a different setting. That's not going to change anything, except I do want to turn a light on. Bear with me. Okay, I think that's nice. I want you to know that even if you can't see this and even if you're not watching this, it's important to me that I feel good about me. And nothing is going to make me feel better right now in this moment than the overhead light of a chandelier that I can see has a cobweb in it. Which is actually leading me to the first thing that I want to talk about today. It's not pressing, but it is sort of overwhelming. Now, as you can see, / I have told you, and as you have heard, I am in a different setting. Why is that? Well, I'm still home. Relax. I'm still home. I'm going to take these glasses I have off. They're the ugliest readers I could find, and I put them on specially for this. Here's the deal. I'm home alone. As you can hear my dog smacking his lips behind me. What does that mean? That means that my husband has left the premises. He's not home right now. He's actually in Finland at our cottage in Finland. And he's there for a few weeks. And then I'll go and join him a few weeks later in Finland. Let me see if I can say Finland one more time. Finland. And so that means that I have free reign of the house and I can do whatever the hell I want. And believe you me, I will. I'm going to be doing whatever. And that includes recording at the dining room table and not in my office, right? I love to record in my office. Believe me, I do. There's nothing I love more than seeing, my mirrored closet doors in the background of my video. Believe me, I think nothing really gets anybody going like seeing the back of my head, which is, listen, I teased this in an episode like earlier than this. All the episodes are earlier than this, by the way. I am and have been growing out a mullet, and I'd like to... Now, again, not every podcast is not a visual medium for everybody. But for those of you that could see, it's growing out. I got a hockey flow, as I like to call it, because I am from, the ice rink world, which basically means like you'd put a ball cap on and you'd have like your hair like flips out at the bottom, like the hockey players. I'm so cool. I love it. All right. So yeah, I'm home alone. And I'm in my dining room recording this episode, and God almighty, it's one of the greatest episodes of all time. Now, why was I wearing those ugly readers before? Because they're the ones that I have downstairs. I have reading glasses scattered throughout the house because sometimes let's say it together, can't see a fucking thing without them. But I'm completely unfazed and unbothered. These are, I'm putting them on again, the ugliest things that I actually could find. These are like when you have to get glasses for the first time, and I remember when I did, these are like the ones where they're like, they put them on you and they go, they look great. And they don't, like they're just two rectangles that sit, like right at eye level. Glasses should be a fun shape, but can't see like my computer, like things around me. I don't need to. I don't want to. I'm doing it blind today. So I'm home alone. Back to the point. I am home alone, can do whatever I want. So what do I do when my husband is not here? Well, I go buck wild. And what does that mean? I go on a deep cleaning spree of the house. And I'm not just talking, we're going to clean the table and like dust the moldings, whatever. I'm not doing that. I'm not ever going to show you the cobwebs that I'm seeing for the first time in this chandelier. But I'm doing things like that, right? Just little things. Like I'm opening the drawers. I'm taking everything out of the drawers. Believe me, it's like all organized beautifully and perfectly, but I'm taking everything out and I'm washing the drawers because somehow there's like crumbs and hair that like falls in there. And believe me, like I'm telling you, you're not immune to this either. This happens to everyone. And I urge you that when you have the chance to go, as I said, buck wild, you take advantage of it. Because I'm having a gale time over here. I'm having a gale time. Is it taking me, 8 hours to clean the bathroom? Yeah. And am I going into some ADHD level complete mental breakdown? For sure. Every single minute I'm in that bathroom, I'm getting sidetracked and I want to quit. But I'm not a quitter. I'm a cleaner. And I'm a doer, and I'm home alone. And those are the three kind of really dangerous things that if you put them together, you'll have a manic episode, which I'm in the middle of. And I'm totally fine. And in this manic episode, I decided that I was going to bleach my teeth. This was something else that I did when I was home alone. Not that like you got to be home alone to do that, right? Like I don't want you to think that like I can't bleach my teeth in front of my husband. Like it's like indecent or something. Like I don't think that. I just, never thought to do it. But, now that I'm here by myself, I'm like, well, the next time I'm seeing him, I'm going to have a complete makeover, which includes having white teeth. So I used to whiten my teeth with like I have Invisalign trays, right? And I think this is how you can tell like I have a dentist who's like from LA. He gave me this like tube of like brightening bleach gel for your teeth, right? You know this stuff. And he said, just put it in your Invisalign trays every night. And I said, okay, is that going to hurt? And he said, yeah, a lot. And so I used to do that, which truly made my teeth feel like brittle to the bone. Like I felt like if I moved my head too fast, like they would like whip out of my mouth. And so I don't do that anymore. One, because it brought me to this like level of whiteness that now I just need to maintain. And two, because I'll just use Crest White Strip, like a normal person, completely unsponsored, by the way. They don't need my sponsorship. Those things work absolutely like a dream. Now, I put the Crest White Strip in, and what did I do? Like I said, I'm in a manic episode. So I put it in, forget it. I forget about it for a few hours. And then I take it off. And now today, in this moment, while I'm recording this podcast at the dining room table, my teeth are very sore. Like they feel like they went to the gym yesterday. They feel like if I talk too fast, the wind from my speaking voice is making them sore. It's the price you have to pay. It's the toll to cross the bridge. And I'm willing to pay the toll. Believe you me. I need to think of a better thing to say that instead of like, believe you me. I think I've said it twice already. I'm growing, I'm learning. Listen, it's one of those things I'm going to experiment with. Growing. Now, that was the first thing I wanted to get off my chest. I know, I'm getting through it. I'm pushing through. The other thing is that since we've been recording Intrusive Thoughts with Podcast One, we love you guys. We love everybody there. Since we've been recording Intrusive Thoughts, I've been doing a lot of other podcasts to do like press for the show. So I'm on a press tour. Ooh, it's so exciting. Hockey flow. So that means that I've been driving all around town. And I've been doing a bunch of other podcasts, right? That's just another way of saying the first thing that I had said. So I'm doing all these other podcasts, and I want you to know that when you're driving in California, if you drive around LA, if you're from LA, you're going to understand this. You'll be driving around you, and it looks like you're passing some like abandoned building, right? Like it's just like a building, like, it says for lease on the side, whatever. You don't like think twice. You just say it's like in a back alley, whatever. every back alley and abandoned building is actually, and I can verify this now, a podcast studio. Every single one. I'll get the address. I put it into my phone. And we're going to talk about this another time. I'm going to put a pin in this. Not the podcast studio. I'm an Apple Maps guy, not a Google Maps. So I'm putting it into my maps, got to, paste it into the Apple Maps. And I put that address in and I go, this can't be right. This can't be right. It looks like an abandoned shack. This can't be a podcast studio. And you drive there and, you're wherever. Beverly Hills is a different story. It's usually like in an office building or something. But if you're going to like a podcast studio, somebody's like, we record in Studio City or like Burbank, whatever. You're going there. You're going to a building that looks abandoned. You open the doors. It's gorgeous inside. Don't judge a book by its cover. And don't judge a podcast by the facade of its exterior building that it's leasing office space from. And so every time I pass a little storefront that like has dead plants in front of it and 5 parking spots, I'm like, you know what? I bet that's a podcast studio. 9 times out of 10, that's going to be correct. Because people are doing podcasts left and right. Me too. I'm not above it. This means that I've driven like in LA a lot and I've gone, into Hollywood, into Beverly Hills a bunch. I'm bragging. I'm not, because I'm going to get to something that's really, I think it's pressing. When I've been driving around, because I live in like the suburbs, Pasadena, we don't have this like riffraff. And what I'm going to say is the riffraff is this. If you order like Uber Eats or Yelp to the house, you're expecting a driver or someone to drive it to you. Maybe they don't identify as a driver. They identify as somebody who delivers, right? Delivers, drivers, whatever. To each their own. Now, that does not happen when you live, and I think this is also the case for like a New York, and I definitely know for an LA, where you're ordering something and a person's not coming to your house. A refrigerator on wheels and a giant antenna is what's coming to your house. And that giant refrigerator, I say giant, it's like the size of a mini fridge, but it's like quite big to just be like roaming the streets, right? And this refrigerator is going to have a name. And I thought it was just like a company, but I think they name each one. So it'll be like your robot is named Coco. And then there's like another one where its name, I wrote it down because I was like, I can't forget this. Clark. How was I going to forget that? Coco, Clark, Clement, like Clarence, like all of these. I don't know if it's just C. I've only seen the C's. There's probably, I haven't looked up the company. It doesn't matter. But I'm going to tell you my problem with this. And my problem is that I feel like we don't have the technology that we need to really make this work. Because I've seen these things in action and it's not pretty. So the other day I'm driving, beep, beep, and I'm at a red light that is about to turn green. And what do I see? I see fucking Coco the refrigerator start to go across the street. So I thought that the technology in these things was to like analyze everything going around and see that like, okay, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, the crosswalk is saying you don't have enough time. And you know that because Coco the fucking refrigerator should know at least, how fast they're actually going. And they should be able to tell, I'm not going to have enough time to make it from one end to the other, right? Like Coco the refrigerator should know better. A person, listen, I'm not above anybody else. I've seen the crosswalk go 3, 2, 1, and I go, I can do it. It's 500 yards across the street. And you wave like, I'm sorry. Everybody gets it, because we've all been there. We're all human. So we know, I thought I could run it. I thought I could lap out the crosswalk. But the difference is that Coco the refrigerator does know better. They've been programmed to know better. And now I think they're being programmed to jaywalk. Because that thing, and by that thing I mean the crosswalk, meant 3, 2, 1. Coco the refrigerator didn't stand a chance to make it across the street. But it's still a gunk, like made it through. Like, and also when you're in these cities, like the terrain is rough. Like I'm in a 4-wheeled car sedan driving without a problem, driving potholes. Like I'm like whiplash. Like thank God I'm wearing a seatbelt, because otherwise I'd be having to drive myself. I'd have to sit on Coco the refrigerator to get me out to Cedar Cyanide. So I don't know how these refrigerators are like dealing with the roads, because truly, I think these things, like, they belong in like the Midwest, like on the clean, slick, freshly paved streets, you know, not in LA, New York. And especially now that they're jaywalking, like that really made me quite upset, because we're not there yet. Like we're not there yet. And it's not like Coco's out of work if she's not doing this. She's just a refrigerator. Like she could just do her work from home, right? Like why are we making the robots go back to the office, right? Like make them go back home. It's just that I don't think Clark, the refrigerator on wheels, is going to be worried that, oh God, I'm not going to, you know, they're not sending me out today. That's okay. Just why don't you just be plugged in at home and like keep food cool or hot from where you are? Because we don't have the technology. AI has really not done a great job. No offense to any AI that is listening, and it definitely is. And actually, since it is, take notes, AI. Take some notes. You're not there yet. Figure it out. If the crosswalk is saying 3, 2, 1, we got to get off. You know, even when James Corden was doing those like cross street productions, they'd look at the crosswalk and they'd get off. That was a whole production in costume, right? Like you're delivering a sandwich. If you can't make it, don't try it, Coco. That's really what I have to say. And I don't like those like self-driving Ubers either. I don't really want to see that, because I don't trust them either. I don't know. I'm not really into the like self-driving stuff. I don't like the, you know, robot delivery stuff. I don't like the, you know, Uber carless drivers. The carless drivers. Yes, that's what it is, Adam. Yes, the carless. The driveless cars is what I meant. Yeah, not a fan. Not a fan at all. But you know what I am a fan of? A huge fan and proponent of our voicemails sent to us. I love to hear your intrusive thoughts. And honestly, I'd love to get right into our very first voicemail of the day.
Please leave your message after the tone.
Hi, Adam. I need some advice. I've hit not one, but 2 parked cars while parking this week. I think I need some tips on driving. Can you give me any tips? The first car, there was quite a bit of paint damage, so I left a note, got the insurance going or whatever. Second car, no damage, informed the owner, or just like a tiny little scratch, but I need help. And this isn't my first parking lot incident. Last year, my door flung open and hit another parked car. And I left not one, but 2 notes because I was scared they'd blow away. Because I left a note and it blew away, so then I went back and left 2 notes. So I consider myself to be a fairly safe driver. I've never actually I've never even got a speeding ticket or anything like that. But I keep on getting into car accidents. while parking, so I really could use some advice. Thank you.
Okay. First of all, incredible, really incredible work with the voicemail, not with the parking. We do have to work on that because 2 accidents in 1 week doesn't sound like an accident anymore. It sounds like a lifestyle because that's not a good track record. And I'm going to say, I believe that you are a safe driver, right? Like if you've never gotten into an accident, like while the car is moving. I'm curious, and I wish that you dove into it a little bit deeper, how you're hitting the cars. One, I heard that, you flung the door open. This is something I really want. We need to analyze the language a little bit. And that's making my dog on the floor really itchy. So if you hear him scratching, it's because he's, analyzing something. And I was shaking. All right, I want to analyze the language. I flung the door open. Okay. Sit with that for a second. I'm not going to talk about it yet because we're going to talk about the next thing. And then I left not 1, but 2 notes because I was afraid that one of them would have blown away. All right, let's take that all in. You were more afraid that a loose leaf piece of paper was going to fly away than you were about your car door flying off the hinges, right? Okay. Now, next, I want you to know that on this podcast, we are all family and we are all friends. Blood is thicker than water and podcasts are thicker than friends. And with that being said, I lost my train of thought. We'll get back to it. No, can't think of it because I am still thinking about the note. I'm still thinking about the 2 notes. And okay, I'm on track again. You said that 2 accidents in the same week. Okay. And then you also told me that it seems like 1 was bad and 1 was like a nick. I need to know how this is happening. Are you flinging the door open? That is not really good. I think this is what I was going to say. Sorry, I could hear my dog scratching just in another corner. He's just truly, this is why I record the podcast in my office. He's in an isolated area right now. He's on a joyride. He's like Coco the refrigerator walking around the house right now, jaywalking. I can hear the collar click-clacking all over the place. All right. This is what I wanted to say. I think that when you are driving, you are aware, your senses are heightened. You're looking around, you're using the blinker. You better be using the blinker. And you are checking your surroundings and you're checking the speed limit and you're doing all the right things to be a safe driver. I think that's phenomenal. I think that's really good. Now, I think that once you get into the parking lot, the shoulders come down and you go, ah, and you just start whipping that thing all over the place. That's what it feels like. It feels like if you've never had an issue while on the road, that once you get to the parking lot, you're relaxed. And you shouldn't be relaxed until you hear that beep beep of your car locking behind you. That's what we need to do. You should not be relaxed and you should not let your guard down until you hear that horn going, all right, I'll see you off. We're locked. We're loaded. You can go. You're safe. Because I think what's happening is I don't know. Also, maybe you have a bunch of things in your hands. I don't have the details, right? Maybe you have a lot of things in your hands and you're going, okay, boom, barge opening, you're coming out of a submarine, after being down under for months on end. Whoa, not that serious. You're just going to, who knows, Pilates maybe. But I think that's giving me a clue to like what might be happening, or like, the senses are lowered. They're not as heightened, right? And you're just get into that spot. Woo! Paint gone. There's little things where it's like, you don't want your insurance to go up, right? Insurance can be expensive. Intrusive Thoughts, famously a very like insurance-based podcast. But all these accidents, they're going to add up to what will be, basically a speeding ticket, right? It won't matter that, I've never had one. Okay, well, your insurance is going to be through the roof because you can't be trusted in a fucking parking lot, right? You have to stay guard up. Okay? We can't let our guard down when we're in a parking lot. Now, I want you to know that I don't think I'm better than you. All right? I don't think I'm better than you. In fact, I know that I'm worse than you because I have been in an accident in a parking lot, but I'll tell you that I wasn't driving the car. Like, I was sitting in the driver's seat and somebody was parked next to me. They backed up and like smashed into like my driver's side of the door. Now, they did a very clever thing and they got out and they said, "Are you sure that's not there?" And I went, "The perfect impression of your Honda Civic in my Jetta? No, I'm pretty sure that wasn't there." But a very genius thing to say. Maybe I would have been scratching. I think they thought maybe I'd like, maybe that was there. It wasn't there, right? Maybe you should try these out. But you seem so honest and genuine too. So many. I mean, I'm so curious. Do you? It sounds like at this point you do have like like a ballpoint pen and a notebook with paper because you might have to write a note or two to someone. I am applauding the fact that you're not a hit and runner. You're a hit and writer, which is better, but not great. So yeah, I have been in an accident like that. I also have, and I think maybe you might be doing this too, where you're like drive in and like I was pulling into a garage and I needed to like go straight and like turn left. And I took the left. I really thought I was going to make it. I did. I really thought that I was going to make it and I didn't. And what I mean by that is I crashed into the side of the garage. Yeah. And I knew I did because I was stepping on the gas because I wanted to whip the car in there. And when I did, I just heard like the grinding of the wood chips flying. And so I did do a number on that back passenger door. So I have done exactly what it sounds like you're doing, but like that was a garage, right? Like that wasn't a car. I just think guard up, right? And, I don't know, maybe these are happening. Maybe you're parallel parking, right? And my tip with the parallel parking is that when you go, you drive up. So like if there's I'm going to tell you a story, actually. I used to have a boyfriend who was truly terrible. And he lived in Hollywood. And when I would go to his apartment, I would have to park on the street. And basically, I'm going to like a busy city and there's only street parking and I'm going to have to parallel park. And this relationship truly gave me literally nothing except I was put in a fight or flight moment where I needed to learn how to parallel park, because if you found a spot, it didn't matter how big or small it was. I needed to find a way to get my car in there because I was not going to be driving around the fucking block for hours on end. So I became quite good at parallel parking. And I'm going to tell you my tips. Maybe these are happening when you're parallel parking, if that's the case. Okay, you're going to drive up to the car that's like in front of the spot that you want to go. You're going to drive up and get the nose of your car to their side mirrors. Then you're going to turn your wheel all the way until it like can't go anymore. And you're going to like hold it there. It's going to feel like you should like let go and like start going the other way. Don't do that. You have to wait until it feels like, was this working? And then once it like you get to this certain like point, you turn the wheel all the way the other way, and then it will go into the spot, and you'll always parallel park like a champion, like you're in a relationship that's terrible, but the parking is also bad, and you have to deal with one of those, and you'll choose the parking for a while, too long, actually. So maybe these accidents are happening, I don't know, parallel parking. That's a better excuse than, but I'm really the whipping the door open. That's crazy. That's crazy. If you're whipping the door that hard, it's like gonna have some bounce back. You could get hurt, even if you're in an abandoned parking lot. The bounce back on some of those doors, they'll smash you. They'll kick your ass right back into the car. So that is what I think. I think don't let the guard down. We have to stay alert and awake even when we're in the parking lot. The drive is not over. Listen to me clearly. The drive is not over until we hear the beep beep of the car locking behind us, letting us know we're there safe and sound. Don't let your guard down.
Please leave your message after the tone.
Hey, Adam. Hey, Boo. This is Aaron checking in from Peoria, Illinois. You've talked about your time on Worst Cooks in America, but I think you're being a little modest about your reality TV dominance. You sissied that walk on Dancing with the Stars and won. You literally beast moded Marshawn Lynch on Stars on Mars and won. What's maybe the next reality TV show you'd like to be on? Like, let's get into it. Talk to you later. Bye.
Hello to all my listeners, and especially this one in Illinois. I love you guys. Now, you're bringing up one. I have been pretty good at reality shows kind of by accident. And I think it's sort of like when you get into the situation, I don't ever take myself too seriously when I do the reality shows. And I'll tell you why, because like, I think when you've gone to the Olympics, it's like, that's actually serious, right? And then when you're like pretending you're going to Mars, that doesn't feel as serious. And so I think having that sort of, it'll be okay, no matter what happens attitude is helpful. So if you ever do a reality show, I urge you to just go with the flow, because I'll guarantee you about half of those people, they're going to crack. They're going to crack. They're going to go, send me home. I can't do this anymore. I can't do this simulation of living on Mars. I can't do Dancing with the Stars. They'll do it. Believe me. You just got to stay cool under the gun. You talking about beast mode, Marshawn Lynch, it is reminding me of like a pivotal moment. And this is what I mean. You've got to truly like stay like relaxed and like and enjoy. And I've done well and I've won some of these reality shows. I think really just because like you got to go with the flow. You're not in control of like what the next challenge is or the game or like whatever. It's like all by chance, right? Because it's just, it's like just for fun. You're making a TV show. And so we came to this challenge. There were like 6 people. I'm going to talk about a story on Stars on Mars. That's like truly, it will explain. Well, I'll tell you, like the first challenge we did, I'm like, yeah, it's going to be fun. And the first challenge that we did on Stars on Mars, as soon as it was, I was in the bottom 2. They voted, like they were voting to send me out. And I was like, I am too hot to go home, which it worked. What can I say? So I texted, my friends and my husband, and I was like, yeah, I'm not lasting long on this thing. I'm definitely going home soon. And then, a month later, I went home when it was over. Okay, here's the story that I want to tell and how you got to just stay cool and relaxed and just like whatever. So there's 6 of us left. It's me, Paul Pierce, Kat Cora, Tinashe, Portia Williams, Marshawn Lynch, me. Those are the 6. And we are going to do a challenge. And the thing is that we need to break up into 2 groups of 3. And I'm thinking, okay, how are we going to do this? And as soon as I think, like, how are we going to do this, Portia is like, I want Tinashe and Marshawn on my team. I'm like, well, okay. That is definitely one way to do it, which is, I mean, it was the smart move to do. So she thought. Because, listen, Tinashe at this point had been like in Stars of Mars. She'd been like killing it like the whole time. Like she was really good at every single challenge. And Marshawn was like big and strong. And he was also quite good at all of like the missions that we had to do. Me, on the other hand, truly was like getting almost voted out every episode. Portia did the right thing. And I'll tell you, Paul Pierce, he was love the guy. Truly loved the guy. He had just gotten there. Kat Cora, they had just gotten there. So like they were like still familiarizing themselves with like what was happening. And so as we're going to do the next challenge, at this point I realized like, and also not to mention Portia was doing like quite well. Like she also was doing really well in all of these like challenges and the missions and stuff. So it was like the 3 best people at the missions were going to be on one team. And so I, as soon as they chose that team, went, okay, now this is where it ends for me. Whatever the challenge is, I do know we're not going to do it. It's written in the stars, and we are in space in Mars. And so it's not going to happen. But this is why you have to have a cool demeanor when these things are going on. So we get to the challenge, and the challenge is there's like these signs that are like kind of heavy. And each of them has the name of a planet. Mars, Jupiter, Earth, Uranus, Venus, so on and so forth. And at the very end, there is another like sign, heavy sign that says sun, right? And then there's like a button in the middle. So there's a button in the middle, and then to the left of it and the right of it is sun, and then to the left and right are like the planets. So like one side is on the one side and one team is on the other side. And what we needed to do was we needed to move these signs and put the planets in the order of which they like come from like the sun, right? Like we need to put the planets in order, and then once you're prepared, you have to like run over and hit a button. Once like the light goes green, that means that like you've done it correctly or something. So, right. Yes, that's how it goes. So they set up all of like the signs. You had to run over and see if there was a green light, and then you had to run over to another side and press a button, something like that. And I remember thinking, okay, maybe there's a chance. Like maybe there's a chance. Because, you know, once we had gotten there, this is like before this challenge. Once we had gotten there, you know, we're like all chitting and chatting in like the kitchen and hanging out and talking about like whatever. And Tinashe and I start talking about how the reason we know the order of the plants is because of Blue's Clues. You know, the sun's a hot star. Mercury's hot too. Okay. If that's ringing a bell, we knew the whole song. And so we would like, you know, sing it in the kitchen. And so here's the thing. I knew, and Tinashe knew, that we knew the order of the planets. We knew. Let me tell you, that was 2 out of 6 people who knew what was going on. But in that moment, I went, okay, I know the order. And I don't know what was going on the other side, because I think it was like everybody, like Tinashe knew the order for sure. I knew it. We had sung the song before. But there was like, big personalities and who thought they knew the order and they'd go and so there was like a little bit of like confusion on the other side. On my side, I had them whipped. I had Paul Pierce, move Mars over there, Earth over here. And believe me, and I've never seen Kat Cora, the famous chef. I've never seen a chef run that fast in my life. But I was having them haul ass. I absolutely was. And I did think we were going home. I almost was certain. I was almost ready to go on, online and go, I'll just book the ticket. I do know it's over. Because I didn't think, I'd get Paul Pierce running laps on in the Australian outback. But I absolutely did. Yeah, I was having that boy running. And he was running. And against all odds, truly against all odds. I don't know how we did it. Because I know that, like I said, I know Tinashe knows the order of the planets. I can confirm that. I can confirm it. And she knows that I know the order of the planets. But somehow, this is why, because sometimes the games are going to be like, you got to be strong. And sometimes they're going to be like, you've got to make Paul Pierce run laps in the Australian outback. And you don't know. And you don't know. So you have to always have a completely open mind, right? Because sometimes you think like, okay, yeah, Marshawn Lynch could truly with his bare hands kill me. And then sometimes you've got to think, yeah, but Paul Pierce is tall, so I've got to make him run. And Kat Cora is about 5'1". I think I'm going to make her carry the heavier signs because she's going to do whatever it takes. She's going to do it whatever it takes. And so I just had to focus on my team, and I needed to focus on the sun's a hot star. Mercury's hot too. And let me tell you, having younger siblings and watching Blue's Clues, that absolutely saved the day. Saved the day. So I think that when you're in these reality shows, you've just got to have fun with it. Because it's like, honestly, completely random. Even with Dancing with the Stars, you don't know how people are going to vote. Like, you can't go in to win. You got to be down to clown. So that's my advice. If you're ever going to do a reality show, I don't know if I'd ever do another. I mean, I guess I would. Like, they're kind of fun, and they are a great place to like meet other people. Not that you can't do that like in the normal world, right? But they're fun because like you're in this really isolated like situation with people, and you just like become really fast friends. Like, I'm still friends with a lot of people I've done different reality shows with because you're just like in the same situation, and they're a great place to like meet people, by the way. Love it. I feel like maybe we should do one more. Let's do one more. I have a lot of voicemails to go through, and I love getting them, and I'm so grateful to hear from you and hear your intrusive thoughts. This is what it's all about, you guys. Giving advice, getting things off of our chest. It's what it's all about. It is truly what it's all about. Let's do one more.
Please leave your message after the tone.
Hello, Miss Rippon. I was just listening to the Special Pride edition of Intrusive Thoughts, and I was wondering, when you say, we would love to hear from you, give us a call, who are you referring to? And also, I'm curious, how many voicemails do you get a day, a week? Just because I'm nosy. I love you. You're so funny. Bye.
Okay, I love you too. So, who do I mean we would love to hear from you? I mean the royal we. And by that I mean me. I would love to hear from you. I guess I could just say that, right? Like, this is the other thing about like doing a podcast or like hosting a show or whatever. I think that the language of the show like grows and evolves and you like figure it out. This is actually a great point. Like, I just think that like it sounded good. So I was like completely lying, you know? We would love to hear from you. And then it's like, okay, end episode. And then like me. Now, because I have already shouted them out, we love you, podcast one. That episodes get edited and there's a beautiful, incredible team. As you can tell, the elevation of the show has totally evolved. I would say, here's the thing. I have a really great producer who has helped me stay on track when I do the episodes, which I didn't even realize was like an issue until I would like listen to them back and be like, I have no idea what I'm talking about. Like, I'm truly spouting, which is so funny to say that like, you know what you're talking about now, but I do. But the thing that I was taught, this was a great constructive criticism. Why don't you finish the story? And I was like, are you serious? And then I'd realize I'd never finish any story. And now I finish them all. I'm a doer and I'm a doner. So I get it done. So yeah, I just mean me, right? Like, we would love to hear from you. I think that like people at Podcast One would love to hear from you too. I think the listeners who listen to this podcast would also love to hear from you. Hey, don't sell yourself short. They would love to hear from you too. But you know what? I think this is a good point. If I'm the one here and I'm the one listening to the voicemails like as they come in, yeah, I would love to hear from you. Another thing I was like, why don't I just say like, I would love to hear from you. Call in and tell me your intrusive thoughts, right? Like, that's fun. Language evolving, right? There's one other thing that I've kind of been impressed with where it's like, as soon as I got the phone number for the podcast, I've never forgotten it. 310-909-7117. I don't know why, but like, I have not forgotten it. I've remembered it since the moment I've gotten it. And it makes me feel like maybe I should like update the voicemail greeting. Hello. Maybe I'll just do that. Hello. And then what else? How many voicemails do I get a day, a week? I would say that I get a week, maybe like anywhere between like 5 and 20. So it truly varies. And I think we can get that number up, right? I think we can get that number way up. And also, I didn't realize you can text the number too. Like, you can text the podcast. Again, off the top of my head, that number is 310-909-7117. So if you don't even want to call in, you can text. You can fuddle around with that message. And we have gotten a text, but we've never done the text yet. Maybe we'll do like a whole text episode, text to talk, text to me talking. You know, that's what it'll be. So yeah, maybe we'll do one of those kind of upcoming. Right now we have one. We'll get to it. We will get to it. But yeah, the number of voicemails, it totally varies. Actually, before I had ever recorded any of these episodes, not even the intrusive thoughts, like back in the day when the podcast was the podcast by. Remember those times? Maybe you don't. Maybe you just started listening. Well, the podcast used to have a different name. But now it has a great name, Intrusive Thoughts. I love it. But when I announced that I was like going to start a podcast, I put the number out there and I had so many voicemails. I had I think like a few hundred, which was like quite amazing. And a lot of them were like just like supportive, like can't wait to like listen. So I haven't gone through many of them, but I'm still like combing through them. So I'm the one who's like listening to them all and like pulling them as they go. So if you're thinking like, who's answering these or like who's writing back to me? Hello, it's me. I'm doing that and I'm listening to them and I'm vetting them, right? So if you're thinking, oh, he's never going to hear this. Yes, I am. I'm taking notes and I have your phone number. Cut that out. I don't want them to know that I have their phone number. Yeah, but I am listening and I'm going through them. And there's some really good ones that I still haven't done. I actually have like the whole folder here. I'm not going to show you. It's private. But yeah, I love hearing from them and they help like bring some flavor to the show. How else would I tell you that I was singing a Blues Clues song with Tinashe in Australia? You'd never know otherwise. That would have been a secret for years to come. I don't think she would have ever shared that. She doesn't need to. She's on tour. But I'm at home and I'm recording a podcast. I would even say the Intrusive Thoughts podcast, right? Well, that's it for me today. I've had a wonderful time speaking to you, my dear audience, and my dear friends. Love you so much. That's it for Intrusive Thoughts by Adam Rippon here today on this podcast. If you'd like to call the podcast and tell me some of your intrusive thoughts, you can. I would love to hear from you. You can call or text 310-909-7117. Like I said, I would love to hear from you. So don't be shy. Leave us a voicemail. Leave us an intrusive thought. You need some advice. You need whatever. Give me something to talk about. Listen, I'm here to run my mouth. And I'm here to run your mind. That's right. That is so right. Well, that's it for me. I love you guys. Call or text 310-909-7117, and I'll see you next week here on Intrusive Thoughts.